好了。
然后您先给网友打个招呼吧。
那个我就是这样说就可以了啊。
对。压视频里还看不到呢，是现在只有 CGTN 能看见吗？稍等一下，我这边问一下。可以。这是没出来吗？还是？翟梦老师，您可以把镜头对着您自己吗？
可以吗
？Hello。
嗨，大家好。
我们看不到您的那个画面，您的那个您自己的。
看到了吗？
是外面的画面。
没有，我现在切过去了。看到了吗？
您自我介绍一下吧。
大家好，我是翟mo。我们今天。
Good afternoon, my name is Zhai Mo. And start from 4 a.m. today, we are entering into the most beautiful place of the Greenland. So in this area, we will navigate for about 10 hours, over 70 sea miles. The most narrow valley is about 30 meters. It is very deep. It is about 300 meters. We are not able to see the depth of the sea areas from our map. So I would like to show you around the valley. So right now I would like to show you some of the sceneries in the valley of Greenland. So right now it's 6 p.m. For the mountains, you could see it's still covered with snow and ice. So we have been navigating in the sea area for about 70 days because we start our journey in late June. So as of today, it is about 70 days. So where were you? Because we lost you for a few months. This is because of the signal issue. So right now we are traveling into the Greenland area. Before we enter into the Greenland Sea, there are some areas that do not have the signal. So right now we are entering into the Greenland area, and right now we're able to obtain some signal. And today our signal is quite strong. That's why we're able to do the live coverage. In front of us, we will encounter very narrow channel. In this area, we don't have many visitors. So maybe we are the only boat inside of the valley. Can you show us more about the scenery in this area? So now we would like to take the camera out so that you could enjoy more scenery in the north part of the Greenland. So one of my colleagues will give you some introduction about the scenery of the Greenland, because for myself, I have to navigate the boat. So right now we are inside of the valley area of the Greenland. In front of us we have a ice valley. Now you could see the sunset. Actually cast some shadows on the glacier. So now from this angle you could see this beautiful sunset. So now you could see the glacier in this valley. It's not a big one. For this valley, the length is about 72 sea miles, so it may take us for about 12 hours to pass this valley.
走中间那个。
我的习惯那个地方。
你先关掉它。
啊，我来开，船长你来说吧。船长你去说吧，我来开。
不是。
现在上线了。
你现在让他先看看，先借这个。
能看到外面的风景吗？因为我
再介绍一下进入东北航道后遇到最大的困难是什么？
我们现在已经离开了。
Captain Zhai, maybe you can tell us more about the challenge when you're entering into the northeast passage of the Arctic Ocean. So the biggest challenge, so first we were entering into a narrow space. So now we are in the Greenland area. And also we are suffer from the strong wind. The highest scale is 64 scale.
现在看到那个我的左侧的这个山了吗？这是我的左岸。走中间啊！
哎呀，我还得爬上去。稍等一下啊。好嘞。OK。我现在站在船顶了啊，你们能看到吗？
So now I'm standing on top of the sailboat.
景色是比较漂亮的啊。
It's very beautiful scenery.
然后你们看到这个山上面基本上都是光秃秃的，没有什么植被。
And you could see it is quite a barren hill and barren mountain. There's not much plantations.
你要去拍照吗？那个景色太漂亮了，这个船长已经忍不住把直播扔了去拍照去了。
As you could see, the scenery is quite beautiful, and our captain is trying to take some photos.
是你这样的话，我让老铁给你拍吧，行吗？
也行，但是我可能得跟他通话，就是得聊点儿，说点儿。
哦，好。那个，现在能听到了吗？现在驾船的是米莎，然后
So
还
Misha
有
right
老
now
铁，
is
老铁是
navigating
刚
the
刚把
boat.
手机给我。现在我们已经进入了就是峡谷，昨天晚上。
So right now we are entering into the valley.
过来的，就是因为躲开了那个格陵兰南角的那个风，外边是25。
Actually, last night we came here,
前面的浮冰了嘛？
and yesterday there's a very strong wind in the south part of the Greenland.
没关系，你躲开不就完了吗？到那地方船速要慢点。现在在我们的前方还有不少浮冰。昨天是我们。
So there are many ice, floating ice in front of us. And yesterday we encountered a very large size of the iceberg, around 20 to 30 meters tall. And today we are entering into the most beautiful place, the most beautiful valley of Greenland. The length is 70 sea miles, and we have to travel through this place for over 10 hours. And for the most narrow channel, it is about 200 meters. And the depth of this area is about 300 to 400 meters. However, we are not able to see the depth from our map. For this channel, you could see there's no other boats or cruises, so we are the only one boat that have been traveled through the valley.
Oh, 那是我们走那个东北航道的时候。那个我们走那个东北航道是进入了是俄罗斯的这种领海，它需要一个叫北方。
So we are entering into the neighboring sea areas from the Russia through the northeast channel.
证件，然后我们在那个地方，等了1天吧，然后咱们中原特运。
So the reason we travel through that place is to obtain a permit. And we stay there for about 1 day. We are able to obtain a permit. And for that area, it's already very challengeable. And when our boat enters there, and we also see a piling up of ice. For some of the boats, when they travel through the passage, they have to change another boat. But for us, we are not able to turn back because the channel was dark and also was blocked by ice. On my left side, you could see a very large mountain, and also you could see it was covered by snow and ice. I'm not sure if you could see some of the ice in front of me. So right now I would like to show you some of the ice in front of us.
这儿听到了吗？现在听到了吗？喂，喂。不是。哦。现在能看到我了吗？我现在是拿着手机，可以吗？啊。那个，我们进入了北极圈，北极圈有一个。
So now we are entering to the Arctic Circle. So we are actually completing a voyage above the 75th parallel north on the Arctic Ocean. I'd like to show you some of the ice in front of us. In front of us there were many floating ice. We don't want to encounter of the strong wind directly. So we are actually traveling to the direction of Iceland to avoid the strong wind. And now we are in a valley of the Greenland. So the length for this valley is about 70 sea miles. It takes us about 10 hours to pass this valley. So we are entering this area, we need like 2 people to navigate the sailboat, just like what we did last night. Because last night we also encountered with adverse weather condition. Because when we're entering into a high latitude place, we are not able to use the automatic driving devices, so we have to navigate the boats manually. Especially if it is above 75 degrees, all of the navigation system will malfunction. Do you see the ice? There are many floating ice on this passage. I believe these ice are almost melted. But later we enter into some low latitude places. So right now the temperature is -3 to -5 Celsius degree, and on the sailboat the temperature is about 0 Celsius degree. In some places we may have encountered snowy weather, and the temperature will be about -2 to -5 Celsius degree. So in between the area of the Truckee Sea and also the Kara Sea, and we may encounter of snowy weather is extremely cold.
我们现在到，因为吉州是60度直接，你看那个冰了吗？64度是叫。
Did you see the ice?
现在我们在64度之
So
下。
soon we will be entering into the Arctic Circle.
最南的最南端。然后
And right now the latitude is about 60 degrees. And today we are at the southern part of the Greenland. So within 3 days, we will be entering into the latitude of 74 or 75. And then we will be entering into the Lankan Sea area. So when we are entering into the northwest passage of the Arctic Ocean, we may encounter a lot of challenges.
兰格斯的皮尔海峡那个地方的冰基本上有所减少。
Because in the northwest passage, there may be more iceberg and also more floating ice. We have to pay attention to the weather condition.
兰格斯特以后，我们再看一下那个冰期的情况。
So we'll observe the real-time situation to understand the situation of the channel.
哎呀，这睡个觉实在太累了，稍微的一休息以后，接着又开始就值班，然后一会儿我可以让大家看看，就是你想给我们做做早餐。
For the past few days, we are quite exhausted because we have to take shift to do the navigation. And also we invite our chef to prepare some porridge and some fish.
哎呀，我们昨天是看了一条，我拍了一条鲸鱼，那个鲸鱼大概有在15米左右的长度，离我们的船还是比较近的。然后
Actually, yesterday I found a whale. The length about 50 meters, and it is quite close to our sailboat.
另外见到那鸟，
We also see other aquatic animals.
那个这次我们进入了兰开斯特海峡，大概有一个叫独角鲸，希望我们
When we are entering into the Greenland Sea,
因为那个独角鲸只有
we are also trying to find out more varieties of the whales because some of the whales are only available in the Arctic pole.
那个我们进入了那个东北航道，也进入了白令海峡，就在出科奇海就遇到了大面积的浮冰。这是我们
So when we are entering into the Bering Strait, we also encounter of large scale of the floating ice.
文化，还有加上强风，然后咱们聚集在出科奇的那个西南角。
And if some of the ice are melting and also if we are encountered with strong wind, and it will pose a lot of challenge for ourselves.
这是第一次碰到这个大面积的冰，也是第一次碰到冰吧，是我们在冰。
It is the first time when we encounter such a large scale, large area of the floating ice. And it took us about 12 hours to pass through the area.
预料到那个地方会聚集到这么多的浮冰。到了下一个，
Based on our analysis, we did not expect to have that amount of accumulation of floating ice.
北地群岛，我们本来是想从北边的最北面走，因为那个是挨到斯瓦尔巴是比较近的一个航道。结果我们到了南最北面的时候，结果我们又折回来，那地方是整个的
So when we are entering into the Bering Strait and we are traveling north straight, and we were actually stuck by the iceberg. We are not able to find out the assets of the canal. And then we make a detour and go through an island near Russia.
特运的船是破冰船过去，然后我们再往后推迟了大概有3天的时间。我们通过的时候，算是
Because of that journey,
然后我们
we have delayed for 3 days.
开了帆船一条帆船，我们在中间的航道上，然后相遇，
And also we are able to encounter a boat from Russia.
然后这一段时间是
We make a detour and pass through that risky place. So when we are going to the Greenland area, the situation is more
到
favorable.
斯瓦尔巴了，因为在这期间是因为整个的海面受大西洋的暖流的影响，是常年不结冰的。
But for in this area,
西里岛和
it will be impacted by the warm current from the Atlantic Ocean. So it shall not be so many floating ice in front of us.
印象最深的就是我们遇到这个福音，我感觉是我在过去
I think that's quite an impressive memory for me because I never experienced such large scale of the floating ice.
穿就是看着阴森森的，非常恐怖。然后那个冰就像在灰色天里边的数的那个乌龟一样，就说胆战心惊。
Because when we are running into ice, it just feels like when you are entering into a jungle,
撞在一起
you are blocked by numerous trees.
它的强度是因为比那个石头还要强，它不是说我们那个融化
And also especially if the ice they're colliding with each other,
那个
and all of these edges of the ice will be very sharp.
这个船
It is even tougher than a stone.
船体是不是有什么
So when we are going back, or if we make some stops, and we have to check whether some of these ice may make some damage to the body of our sailboat.
记住了它那个它有流的
Because sometimes we are not able to dodge all of these ice because of the impact of the wind. Some of these floating ice are movable.
我们是慢慢是往前推的，就是用那个船体去推这个冰，把它推开以后推出一条。
So for us, when we are sailing, when we are traveling forward, it is possible that we hit some of these ice. We have never experienced such scenario. That is one of our challenge.
但是西北航道听专家给我们分析的话，这个船现在目前就是
So this is what happened in the
比较不错，但是
northeast part, northeast passage of the Arctic Ocean.
如果是再有5
But we are not sure what happened in the northwest passage of Arctic Ocean. The experts said there may be 70% of the areas we will cover with ice. But still, we have to learn from the lessons and try to dodge all of these ice.
啊，好的。我正好，我反过来是看到那个现在是我用的电话是叫海事电话，那个我还配了一套通讯设备是叫移星电话。
So actually, I have a maritime telephone and also I have a digital equipment so that we are able to have communications with people from the ground.
因为现在就是我们这个是，这是磁罗盘，这是正常的话是在就是地纬度啊，就是做导航的，但是我们的船
This is the device we are using for navigation. But after we enter into the place with latitude of more than 75 degrees, we are not able to use this automatic navigation system.
光纤罗经，再次一说，多谢我们装了光纤罗经，才能导航，因为在高纬度里只有这个。
And this time we have a optical fiber device. This will also help us with the navigation, especially when we enter into a high latitude place. So in this area, we have all sets of devices for navigation. So right now, we are doing the navigation manually. In the future, we will install 2 sets of equipment.
因为这次我的船上只装了一个是叫液压自动舵，因为自动舵的话可以是能休息，但是在强风中或者恶劣天气，包括冰。
So in the future, we are going to install some of the autopilot system. But if we encounter with strong wind, we are not able to use that device. So all of the piloting have to be done by ourselves.
在我们的航道的前方，
So now you could see my colleagues is trying to observe the situation of the ice. And for some of the ice, they're actually floating down to us from the upper stream.
这段时间是我们在哪？在斯瓦尔巴到格陵兰和冰岛之间遇到了几次大的冰山。真是没想到就是。
So before we enter into the Greenland area, for many times we encounter large size of the iceberg.
让我们想起了泰坦尼克号。
We never expect that situation because we think in this area it was affected by the current from the Atlantic Ocean. So it should not be as many as ice.
也是最大的一个第一次彩蛋，因为一见到冰山，我们会立马会想到这个泰坦尼克号。喂，哎，啊，对，就是泰坦尼克号这个冰也是从格陵兰，
And naturally, for the
给飘过去的。
famous story, the Titanic, some of the ice are also caused in the Greenland area. When we are traveling is the northeast channel, we never see a visible iceberg.
100米的那种就是高山，这是
But this time we are
因为
encountered with many icebergs.
一个更小。你想，前段时间的时候，我们在晚上，在距离我们有600里的时候，我们遇到一个大面积很大的一个冰山。
So a few days ago, 60 miles away from here, we found a very huge iceberg.
的1/3，
It is as large as an island,
下面应该是3/4。
and it caused huge amount of floating ice. So for the iceberg, actually half of it was covered by the sea. So you could never expect how large it is for the iceberg.
那我这样的话，就是我要放下电话了。啊，好好好。好好好，好的好的。 今天的天气还是不错的，在我的
So today the weather is very nice,
前面是一个
and also it's quite visible. You could see the blue sky and the white cloud. You could enjoy the beautiful scenery in the valley.
现在我们看到那个还有绿色的植被，有些地方是见不到任何的树木。
In some parts of the mountains, you could see some trees and plantation. Also, I would like to show you the breakfast.
船长给大家说再见，然后下线了。
那个各位朋友，那个我们得继续航行。
等一下。
Dear viewers, we will continue our journey.
镜头转回来，镜头转回来。镜头转回来了，镜头转回来了。船长给大家再见。
各位朋友，我们下次再见。
Dear friends,
拜拜。
we will continue our journey right now. See you next time.